Folks, we want to make a start now, and hopefully the rain will stay off and we'll get finished. Yeah. Right. Reverend Fathers, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Drumraney Heritage Society, I want to welcome you all here this afternoon on this special occasion. I want to welcome especially Ballymore Ceoltóirí Éireann, Eamon O'Hargan, Orstúr Lowers and Murracu, Chairman and Vice Chairman of the Fleadh Executive Committee, and all other members, which include Joe Kinnear as Chairman and Willie Penrose as Vice Chair, the Reynolds family and the extended members of the Fleadh Executive. I'd also just like to remembering today Willie's wife Julie and his son Val. So, okay, thank you. As you all know, we are here today to unveil this plaque in memory of Willie Reynolds, All-Ireland uilleann piper and one of the founder members of Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann, who was a native of this area of Walderstown at Lone. As a community, we are very proud of Willie's involvement in the founding of the wonderful organisation Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann, and are delighted to welcome Fleadh Cheoil Éireann back to his birthplace in Mullingar this year. We were there yesterday and it was absolutely fantastic. I only want to say well done to everybody involved. You deserve a round of applause from the committee. At this ceremony also today we will be relaunching Willie Reynolds' book, Memories of a Music Maker, which was previously published by Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann. And we at Drumraney Heritage Society wish to thank Willie's son John, who built this plaque, and the local community who helped in any way to get this momentous day, and also to sculptor Martin Curley. When you see it unveiled, I think you will be amazed at what has been done. And just to give you a kind of a background, the initial idea of this came from the 1916 Memorial Garden at Killinilly. If you're going back towards Mullingar, you'll see this. And as Willie was born in 1916, we thought it was appropriate that he should be remembered. And with the Fleadh coming home to Mullingar, this gave us the added impetus, hence we are here today. And I want to thank the Reynolds family sincerely for cooperating with us when we went to them and talked about doing this. They were absolutely unbelievably helpful. And all I can say to everybody involved, thank you and well done. Now, we have a few speakers, and the first speaker I'll have is Chair and Vice Chair of Westmeath Fleadh, Joe Kinnear and Willie Penrose. Joe, please.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Good afternoon, everybody. I suppose I'm going to start off. Yesterday was a fantastic day for Mullingar, Fleadh Cheoil Éireann being back in Mullingar, and I think an awful lot of people were amazed with the huge crowd that was there for the opening. But I suppose the huge crowd would not be there only for the likes of Willie Reynolds and the former founders of Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann. And I'm absolutely amazed and delighted to see how many people is actually here today. And I want to congratulate and thank everyone for turning out for this today. A very special occasion to remember one of the founder members of Comhaltas, a fantastic piper, that being Willie Reynolds. And I want you to give Willie and all the founder members of Comhaltas a big boola bus. So, on behalf of the FEC committee, we're delighted to be part of this, and I want to thank sincerely the Reynolds family, the Moynihan family and the Seary family for engaging with us in the whole process to bring Fleadh Cheoil Éireann back to Mullingar. I can't thank them enough. They've been great to us every time we needed them to do something in regard to bringing the Fleadh back. They were at our beck and call, and they appeared anywhere we want them to them, and I really appreciate it. So to share the load I'm talking a lot, and I want to give everyone on our committee a chance to express their feelings and gratitude towards Fleadh Cheoil here. And I'm going to hand over to Willie Penrose, our Vice Chair, and Willie is going to say a few words. Thanks very much.
We're delighted to be here this morning on behalf of the Fleadh Executive Committee for this auspicious and a very important occasion. As most of you know, I used to come down to play Maryland here in football, and I saw the blue and white flags out, and I said to myself and Joe, I said, this is the first time the blue and white ever welcomed Ballycarriga people down. And I often left up from the Drumraney pitch with some Welsh on it, but down. We were very innocent, Ballycarriga. Anyhow, this is a very special occasion, and we're gathered here at the very pleasant, indeed the homestead of a musical genius, whose scholarship and many achievements have contributed to a very rich legacy, of which us alone, his family, gathered here this afternoon, must be exceedingly proud of. But all of us, as the Wohies of the Irish music tradition, have been greatly enriched, and his mastery of a wide range of musical instruments, but more especially the uilleann pipes, ensures that Willie's name will always be recalled with reverie and great pride, and whenever the pipes are played. His name is spoken of in the same tone and recall as his major influencer, Leo Rowsome, and his first teacher, who lived close to us at home, the late piper Jimmy Dolan from Cole Hill, and indeed Willie Clancy. It's peculiar that I recall him in the 60s coming to the old courthouse of Ballycarriga to teach music there. And indeed it was ironic, or indeed probably appropriate, that it was outside on the steps of that old courthouse in Ballycarriga that myself and Joe Kinnear, or Cathaoirleach here, discussed in 2016 an embryonic strategy of attempting to bring the Fleadh back to Mullingar, to his roots. Thus, as the Fleadh returns to Mullingar this weekend, in what is aptly termed the homecoming, we're gathered here in Walderstown with Uachtaráin, CCE, Eamon O'Horgan, and his old friend and Stuart, or CCE, Loris O'Murco, to unveil this memorial plaque. And as Tom Farr said, the excellent, skillful workmanship of his son John Reynolds, who is just feated not just throughout Ireland, but further afield with his work in Flanders and everywhere else. We're very lucky to have such great skilled people here, right in his own homestead, and where music and dance still prevails. We're delighted also to have members of the Moynihan family, who, as Joe said, the Ceoltóirí family, and without their input back in 1951, none of this would have happened. We'd have no homecomings, we'd have nothing else. And Laura's yesterday played a powerful tribute to the role of those founder members, key founder members who come from Westmeath, but particularly from Mullingar, Milltown and here in Drumraney, the input and the invaluable role of that. So to all of the Reynolds family, you were rightly proud here this afternoon. And I think we should finish with the words of his daughter Teresa. She put it so aptly in a recent article. Willie and his many piping and other musician friends will be launching their own Fleadh Cheoil in heaven today, as they are engaged in welcoming back the Fleadh to Mullingar, where it all began in '51, and where Willie Reynolds, along with the Moynahans and Ceoltóirí family, played a seminal role as the co-founders of this great organisation, Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann. We are indebted to them for their vision, their insight and their tenacity. And look what we have, the greatest organisation, cultural organisation in the world today. And we had a great example of that yesterday. I want to also pay a tribute to the Drumraney Commemoration Committee here for their input, and to Tom Parlow. Actually, we were talking about football last December, and then we swung into the Fleadh, and he mentioned this, and I brought back the FEC, and the FEC fully endorsed, Colette, Lynn and all, Joe and all, were fully endorsed, and we're delighted to be part of this important celebration and the tribute and memory making of a great founder, Willie Reynolds. He'll always be remembered whenever any music is played, but particularly the uilleann pipes.
Thank you very much, Willie. We'll now call on Uachtaráin Ceoltóirí Éireann and Eamon O'Horgan. Thank you very much.
Great. Just on the outset, say on behalf of Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann, I'd like to extend our sympathies, of course, to Councillor Tom Farrell, his wife and his family on their recent bereavement, and to extend on behalf of the organisation, extend our sympathies to the family on behalf of Owen Farrell, who passed away recently. I was delighted a few months ago to be invited down to Ballinamore, to the county Fleadh Cheoil, and so I'm no stranger to this part of the country. It was my first time in Ballinamore, and I was delighted to be there. We had a great night with all the branches of Comhaltas in the county were there, and they all performed so well, and we presented some of them with the long service, the Tastish Television, and so it's great to be here again today. I saw Officer of Event Shaw. And I was thinking yesterday, I was looking out at the hundreds of thousands of people in the square for the official opening with our Uachtaráin Michael D. And I was thinking how proud Willie Reynolds and the founders of Comhaltas must have been that were looking down at us at this occasion. Here we are in 2022 to see all the young musicians on stage playing music, and there were musicians that weren't on the stage, they were in the front of the stage, they were all playing music, and to see such a huge attendance at the Fleadh Cheoil Éireann, it must have made them proud, because back in 1951, when they all came together to establish Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann, I'm sure they had no idea then what they were letting us in for. They had no idea how this would all finish up. I suppose if you establish an organisation next week, you'd say, well, what's going to be like in the future? You'd have no idea. You couldn't foretell what's going to happen. I've no doubt, because the huge amount of work that Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann has done, and you are Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann. It's the name, it's an organisation, but for me, Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann are the people sitting behind me here who are playing music, and the people like Joe and Willie and all the others doing the volunteer work and the committees and that keep the organisation going week after week, month after month, and year after year. So I think you all deserve a great round of applause. And Uilleann Margaret. I think Willie, I was delighted to meet the Reynolds family here, and I just arrived, and I think Willie Reynolds was a great musician, a great piper, and a founder member, but he also, I think, it wasn't just music. I think he had all the Ireland's cultural traditions in mind as well when he was establishing, they were establishing the organisation. So it was about music, it was about singing, it was about dancing, it was about the Irish language, it was about storytelling, it was about keeping the traditions of Ireland alive. And I think today we can commemorate him and the other founders as well as we unveil this plaque here in Walderstown. So I'd like to thank the Drumraney Heritage Society, of course, and Comhaltas locally, and the community, all of you who are involved in this great commemoration. And of course, John Reynolds, I believe, I haven't seen it yet, I believe from talking to Willie, it's worth looking at. It's going to be a wonderful piece here in the community. I believe John Reynolds, son of Willie Reynolds, was the person who put it together and built it and so on. So Shinráid, Walla Maurice, Trace Lula Goctana, Trace Lula Christopher Ceoltóirí Éireann, Jody Agus and Grupa, Vive Kindly Denegan and Martin. I was talking to a man this morning who was sitting next to Michael D at Croke Park yesterday, and Michael D was absolutely delighted to be down in Mullingar. He was delighted to be asked to open Fleadh Cheoil Éireann, and he was delighted with the reception he received from the Fleadh committee and also from the community as well. So Uilleann Margaret, Joe, Willie, Agus, Gocton, that's our witness in Fleadh Cheoil, and I'm delighted, as I said, to be here on this very special occasion to unveil this plaque with the Archsteward or Laura Samorco. Uilleann Margaret.
Amen. Thank you very much indeed. Lovely words. And now we come to the main speaker of the day, Archsteward Laura Samorco. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Winter Reynolds, Tom Agus on Costa Cribnacon, Cahielach, the Fleadh Joe, Agus Uachtaráin on Comhaltas Éireann. Is Biog Rod a Credit London Cree Arm, Hosoil Lesson O'Coid, Cribnacon, Specialty, Ata and Shaw Inu. But Gwynna Fleadh Willie Reynolds, Agus be shed a Gumsa, a be mar bone cara again. Agus shifsha on Pobble Artoil on Shaw, Agus Loch Lanuna on Comhaltas. Táimid go mór faoi cumín a gcuid illig, tuisc go bhfuil an ócáid seo ag tarlú. As we drove down today, I was driven, of course, by the local councillor, Johnny, here, and we thank you for getting us here safely as well. But could I just say that as we drove down today and we saw the gathering assembling here, I said at the time, it reminded me of Ireland in the old days, when the local community came out on feet to salute one of their favourite sons. Ireland, as you know, if you travel through the country a lot, it's dotted with monuments to great men and women who gave their lives for the independence of Ireland. And in one way, Willie Reynolds gave his life, his whole life, to Ireland, to the soul of Ireland, to the music of Ireland, and to the culture of Ireland as well. I was 29 years of age when I was elected as Uilleann and Comhaltas in 1968. And as you can imagine at that time, at that age, coming into such an august gathering of people, I suppose I could be seen as a young whippersnapper. Therefore, I was dependent on the iconic figures who had made Comhaltas possible at that time and who supported me in whatever I wanted to achieve at the time. And foremost of those people was Uilleann Piper, Willie Reynolds. And I can never forget him for that, because he brought with him the mantle of authority, the mantle of achievement, the mantle of endurance. He brought that with him. So therefore he took the little whippersnapper under that mantle and helped him along the road step by step. I recall speaking at the graveside of Willie when he passed to his eternal reward. And even then I had the sense of greatness. I had the sense here of a person who had done something special, and that one day the people of Ireland will realise how lucky we were that we had the Willie Reynolds of this world. I sensed that at his funeral. And I recall telling a little story, because sometimes you have to get beyond, I suppose, the glamour of celebrity, and you have to see the man for who he was, or the woman. And a little story, and we'll be launching the book shortly. He recalls it in this book. And it was quite a simple story. We had an event in Gort at that time, and it finished on a Monday morning. And there was no mobile phones, but a phone call came back to the hotel looking for me. And it was Willie. And he said, "Laura, what way are you going home?" "Well, why, Willie? Is there any chance you could go through Peter's Well?" "Yeah, I could. I'd like you to visit the grave of Joe Cooley, because when I was coming home this morning, I did that. And a strange experience," he said, and I'm telling you the story to give you the essence of the spirituality of the man. When I arrived at the grave, the gate of the graveyard, a little lamb met me, and the lamb brought me up to the grave. And I said my prayer, and the lamb brought me back down again. And I think Willie was wondering, had he seen it all? So Una and myself set out for Peter's Well, not knowing what to expect. And we arrived at the cemetery, and we were met by the little lamb. And the lamb brought us down to the grave, and we said our prayer, and the lamb brought us back again. And I was wondering, was I seeing things at this time? And we went on to County Clare, and Una comes from the farming community, and I'm a townie. And I said, tell me, would you have a lamb at this time of the year? Well, the farming community now can know this for themselves. And he said, to be most unusual, and to be most unusual that it would be on its own. Now, it's not for me to interpret the story, but that was Willie Reynolds, and that was the connection that we had at that particular time. But Willie Reynolds and the Walderstown Pipers now have a very special place in the cultural story of Ireland. And I know that the community here are very conscious of exactly who Willie Reynolds was. Because one thing is certain, if we hadn't Willie Reynolds and Clowney Wienacon and Jim Seary and Phil Mullally and all those other great people back in 1951, we would have a different Ireland today. Now that's a big statement, but it's true. Why? Because what they did lit a spark, and that spark became a flame. And that flame spread not just throughout Ireland, but the whole world. So just imagine that group of people in 1951 sitting in that room, and they had no road sign to the future, none whatsoever. All they knew was that there was an urgent mission at that time, and if they didn't start, the possibility is there would be no point in trying it 3 or 4 years later. That's what they did. They sowed the seed. So when you looked at the thousands of people inside in Mullingar, and well done to Mullingar and the committee and the people of the county, there'll be hundreds of thousands of people, over 12,000 people playing music, all because Willie Reynolds and his colleagues came together. But what struck me about today, and well done Tom and to the Heritage Committee, it's very easy to forget people. It's very easy to take them for granted. But there's something very generous-hearted when you take time out and decide, let's put a permanent reminder so that the passerby may stop and read the inscription. The local schools might give a project to the children to go up and read that inscription, and go and ask your parents and grandparents, who was Willie Reynolds? Because we do need to keep his memory alive. So for to be asked here today to be part of this ceremony, I have become a great friend of the Reynolds family over the years. I keep in touch with them all the time. And Julia was a lady, an absolute lady. She was a rock. She was there. She supported Willie in everything he did. And when I looked down from the platform yesterday, and I saw the Reynolds family there in front, all I said to myself, I hope and I do know that they realize the proud legacy that has been passed on to them. And we thank everybody who has supported us in funding. The government, as you know, have been particularly supportive of everything we did. So as one great community celebrating and commemorating here today, it was my great pleasure to be part of that. And to you who have turned up, and to Willie who kept the rain away for the length of time that we are here, this is a good day for your community, it's a good day for Ireland, and it's a good day for the Irish nation throughout the world. God bless all who are involved. Agus go meramid bio et naum sho arish. This book, Memories of a Music Maker, And the Reynolds family will understand this. Come up here, Leavers, they can enjoy this. Come on. Up here. Come on. Come here. This book is the only first-person account of that period in booklet form, the only. And he tells you the people he met, the events he was at, and all who made it possible. It's written in a beautiful, beautiful style. And we felt, with the Fleadh Committee, wouldn't it be a lovely idea to republish? The only change on it is the photograph in front, because this is an iconic photograph of Willie. It's Willie teaching Rosaline Macaulay, and you see the little baby looking on. It's like from generation to generation. So I am so pleased to have the opportunity of launching this book today. And I'm going to ask Eamon O'Haragon to join me, and we'll present one to start with to each member of the Reynolds family. And I'll start here with the man himself.
I'd love to have Val here, but unfortunately that's the way life goes. But my brother Joe, I'd like him to just come up here and take this presentation. My sister Teresa. Teresa. My sister Mary. And Rose is here, Val's wife, is here to take it on behalf of Val. My brother Paul. My brother John. My sister Anne. And my brother Jared is coming here in the background. Thank you, Jared. And the baby of the family, Martina. And Joe, being the eldest now. Thank you very much, Lois.
And we'd like also, have we somebody else? And we'd like to present one to Tom as well, and I'll ask Eamon to do that.
Could you raise the umbrella a little bit? We can't see the...
Now, Laura's part two, the main thing, the unveiling. And after that then, there will be a blessing done by family friend Father Paddy Conlon. Father Devine also sends his apologies. He has a family event on today, that's why he can't be here, so he sends his apologies. So now we'll ask Laura to do the unveiling of the plaque.
Joe, will you step in? And Willie. Colette, will you step in? Come on.
Okay, we're going to so you just come back, guys. We need to go back further because we're in the crowd.
Tom, can you put in a bit tighter there?
Okay,
Put in tighter to the side. That's it, yeah. That's better. That's better.
pull back and pull forward. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So there will be plenty of photographs taken afterwards when we get the ceremonies finished. Whoever wants photographs will, families, friends, everybody, and John and the photographers will help out in that. Just as you can see there, the photograph of Willie is set in tile, and the weather will not even affect it. So it's absolutely beautifully done. And again, I say to Martin Curley and John Reynolds, I will give them a serious round of applause for what they've done. And now I'll ask family friend Father Paddy Conlon to do the blessing. Thank you very much, Father.
God our Father, in your goodness you have given us your Son to be our way, our truth, and our life. You have given us the privilege of being called your children. You have created the world in harmony and have given us musical talents. You have given the ability to make musical instruments, especially the uilleann pipes. Bless this memorial, which is unveiled today in commemoration of the life, the work, and the talents of Willie Reynolds. Bless all those who played with him, who are uplifted by his music, and who are taught and influenced by him. We give thanks for his contribution in establishing Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann. May God reward him for the great use of his talents, and may he and the deceased members of his family rest in peace. May the living members of his family recall with joy and tell his story with pride. And may you all be blessed in your own lives. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much, Father Paddy. Just before we go to Liam Reynolds to say a few words, I just call on Daniel Boland, Chair of Ballymore Comhaltas. And again, it's great to see youth involved. So Daniel, just say a few words and we'll explain about the tune.
Hello, I won't keep it. I have no jacket, so this will be a quick speech. I just thank everyone here, thank our neutron, our presidents, Joan, Willie and Colette and all the executive committee. Wish you the best of luck for the All-Ireland Fleadh. Again, well done to the Reynolds family and Tom and yourself for putting this whole thing together. It's great doing a great plaque, and it's a great stand to all the works that's been done. So, John Skelly here is just going to do a slow air here on the pipes. Just hope you enjoy it. So again, thanks very much.
Absolutely beautiful. Well done. Now, I will call on Liam Reynolds to speak on behalf of the Reynolds family. Liam, please. And then we just have two other items to do afterwards then.
Cheers, Margaret Ceoltóirí Éireann. Listen, I'm completely out of my depth here at this present time, but you know, it's bigger than us, so I'm going to do my best. Listen, the theme, I've written a few words down here, and probably the theme of it is family and friends. So I'd like to start by Reverend Father, friends of Willie from the Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann around Ireland, Céimíle Fáilte, to our neighbours and friends from the parish, to the parishioners around, such as Mount Temple, Ballymore, Tuberclear, Tyne and further afield. On behalf of Val, Joe, John, Jerry, Mary, Liam, Anne, Teresa, Paul and the youngest Martina, and our cousins Mick Reynolds and Billy Reynolds. We extend our warmest welcome to all here today. We know that everyone here today wants to be here, and you know, we want all you people to be our friends for life. If I may, I'd like to share a few memories about Mum and Dad. Look, I was caught right in the middle of 10 kids. So I know exactly what went on, you know, and we were there. I remember us all being there as kids. So look, I have a couple of memories to share about those times. So I'd like to start by a few memories with Mum and Dad. Yeah, like I said to you, we're on the times. Yeah, my Uncle Sean, he lived down the road. I want to lay you guys, I'm sorry about this, but I'll get us over as quick as I can. My Uncle Sean lived down the road here, and he was always coming in to visit us. And of course around that time he'd tell us, listen, you're mad, like, what are you at? He said you'd break Ireland. And you know, he was right. We broke more stuff there when we were young, but you know, it probably goes on in a lot of families. But so, and we got up to all kinds of devilment and stuff like that. But then Mammy, sometimes she'd lose control of us. So the only way she could was she actually joined in with us. So that was Mother, you know. But Willie, look, while he was a great man, great in piper, and we loved him, but like I said earlier on, if we could just go back to that stage, we would probably appreciate him a lot more. But look, behind every great good man, there's a great woman. Yeah. And I can sincerely say that about my mother, Julia. And looking back, you know, we had a very happy childhood. I'm shaking here. I don't even know where. Okay. Yeah, of course. I would sincerely like to thank Drumraney Heritage Society for making this fabulous event happen. And what a wonderful group of people you are. And to Caroline O'Dowd for the shrubs and plants and her input in how well the place is looking today, and everything is in as it should be. There's nothing out of place. And to you, Caroline, thank you very much. Julianne, thank you very much for the facilities, and you know, there's tea in there for everyone, and there's homemade tarts and sandwiches, and you know, this is exactly what my mother used to do when we had the area across the way here in Fermore back all those years ago. To my brother John, on the fantastic monument that we have here today, and you know, it's going to be there for the rest of our lives. So John, thank you very much. And look, finally, I would sincerely like to thank Tom Farr for all his work. And you know, in this time of sadness, Tom, look, we greatly appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much, Tom. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank my brother Jerry for carrying on the tradition of both playing the uilleann pipes and teaching music to young people across the Midlands. Thank you very much, Jerry. It tells me to turn over. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a comedian here or anything, but it is what it is now. Listen, I'm going to quote a line from the book, this book here, and you know, it's short and sweet, and anyway, here it is. If there was anything to happen to Lowers and Morrico, it would be a true disaster. Oh. And I'm only quoting, but it's in the book. To Lowers and Una, because you were Daddy's best friends, thank you very much. Thank you.
Now we just have 2 events left. One is Liam's son Daniel to play a tune, and Ellen, the other granddaughter Ellen, might do an Irish dance for us. Now maybe she could do it inside in the dancing arena inside, maybe, because it's very wet, might be fair. And there's a cup of tea for everybody in the audience. So we'll just get Daniel to play now. Okay? Thanks, Daniel.
You're getting the worst of that, are you?
I've got a mention in the book. Oh, did you? Very good. I bought it when it was out before. All right.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, folks, that comes to that part. We do the dancing inside. It's a cup of tea for everybody in the audience. And again, I want to say thank you very much. And the rain, we got away light enough.
Yes,
and I suppose there's one other person that we should give a round of applause to. Is the secretary of the Westmeath Fleadh, Colette Glynn. I think she's one of the best. She's always the lady behind the scenes. Nobody sees her or hears, which gets all the work done. Colette, thank you very much for everything. And again, to all our guests, thank you very much for coming to make this such a good day, and to all the community as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.